Okay, this is Critical Discussions, episode 16, and it is an international episode. We're going to talk about things that have happened or are unfolding right now in the world. But we're going to start with things kind of related to Russia, to Ukraine, to all of that whole thing. In Latvia, Latvian authorities cancelled TV rains, or Dozhd as it's called in Russian language, TV license. And amidst this, there's been a lot of no, I don't want to say discussions, because it's not really discussions, more as Russian liberals, Russian opposition is just reeing like, how dare they, these Latvians, how dare they, what the fuck, it was a mistake, blah 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 blah. I'm not watching Dozhd, TV Rain. I don't give a fuck really about them, to be honest, but I still wanted to kind of understand, so what's going on exactly. And what's going on, apparently, is that after basically the whole everybody who's worked this channel couldn't really work anymore from Russia, Latvia, I think about 6 months ago, maybe more, offered basically for Russian journalists who, basically like in exile from Russia, to come to Latvia and work there and continue to do their job, basically. As far as I can understand, Dozhd is and was in opposition to Kremlin and against this war in Ukraine and so on and so forth. However, their attitude is something that is that kind of an attitude why people across the world, and especially in like Baltic states, Eastern Europe, so on and so forth, really dislike Russians. Because apparently, and I didn't pay too much attention to Russians abroad, basically how they speak, what kind of image they project, what kind of things they say. However, if I right now start paying attention to this, there's a lot of imperialistic rhetoric, even amongst liberals, amongst opposition, so on and so forth. It's as if the rest of the world fucking owes to these people something, which, spoiler, nobody owes them fucking nothing. This is, I just want to quickly show, basically, TV Rain got 3 strikes for 3 violations of Latvian law, and they got the license was revoked. And exactly this admits basically the creator of this TV Rain, of this studio, I don't know. She says exactly that. Formally we have several times violated the law of Latvia. She just admits this directly. And they do not, they acknowledge this. They're not denying it. So this is the creator of TV Rain, the head of it. She's admitting that, yes, her channel, her editors, whatever stuff, they have violated the law several times. Not just once. It's not 1 strike and you're out. No, it's 3 strikes, now you're out, apparently. She's admitting to this. And yet, all of the opposition, all of the people who support basically, I guess, kind of independent, anti-Kremlin, I guess, media. They've all basically a lot of people. Medusa created basically in English as well a statement regarding this whole situation, and a lot of people signed. A lot of Russian journalists, like new newspaper, Novaya Gazeta as it's called, like basically Projekt, Dozhd. There's like a lot of basically editors of a lot of independent media in Russia signed that, oh, like this is unacceptable, blah blah blah. But I just don't understand that. Did you break the law? TV Rain, editors, staff, whatever. Yes, you did. Was it you who broke the law, or was it Latvian government authorities who broke the law? No, it was you who broke the law. Have you broken the law repeatedly? Yes, you have. Have you just been fined 10,000 euros? Just like a few, I think like a week ago or something like that. They were fined 10,000 euros because they displayed a map where Crimea was in Russian Federation. Annexed Crimea that Russia is occupying right now, on like live broadcast of an opposition media that's been given the opportunity from safety of Latvia, from safety of European country to continue their broadcast, and yet they're still violating the laws of that country, and they don't understand that this is unacceptable. If you are in another country who granted you the ability to safely live there, safely work there, you should stay. There is a Russian proverb, "Тише воды, тише воды ниже травы." Calmer than water, lower than grass. You should like lay low, lay down, and be as fucking polite, as compliant with all the laws and regulations as humanly possible, and go even above that. Not even as humanly possible, but like as inhumanly possible. You should be so grateful that you've given opportunity. And yet, we get not only repeated violations, quite gross violations. Like, how can you, like, what the fuck are your editors or whoever is working on your maps or on like presentation, video editors, so on and so forth? Who the fuck is working there if they can't spot that occupied fucking Crimea is on the map, belongs to Russia, that you're broadcasting? What the fuck is that? Maybe if you want to blame somebody, blame yourself, your staff. Maybe think about maybe that there's inside your fucking Dozhd, inside of your TV Rain staff, maybe there's a fucking mole there. How about that? Think about that, for example. If you want to think about conspiracy and shit like that. Yeah. Also, they've been calling, once again, on live broadcast from Latvia, they've been calling Russian army, not Russian army, or not occupant, army of occupants, not Kremlin army, not Putin's army. They've been calling it our army. As if like associating themselves opposition. So the channel, the media, who's in opposition to Putin is associating themselves with murders and this mobilized cunts who are right now in the territory of Ukraine, are there to kill Ukrainian people, to advance the territory, to seize the territories and so forth. So they're associating themselves with that. I mean, I'm sorry. Do I miss fucking some meeting where this is acceptable? I don't. I live in fucking Belarus. It's a dictatorship state. I despise this country. It is not my country. It's not my government. It's not my army, forces, special forces, whatever. Nothing of it is mine. If anything, I want to disassociate myself as fucking far, distance myself as far as I can from all of that. Because nothing of it is mine. I never elected anybody. By the time I was able to actually go and vote, this country was already fucking totalitarian dictatorship shithole. Nobody asked me. It's the fault of my parents, of the people who came before me. No, this is not my shit. Why would I ever say that this is my army? And yet, these people right now who are working as this fucking independent opposition channel, they're saying that Russian army is their army. Dude, like, what the fuck is that? I don't understand. Like, is it my, like, sort of autistic thing speaking that people can't, like, draw, like, straight lines? Or what the fuck is this shit? It actually pisses me off because, like, look, there's a lot of, like, Shenderovich is there, there's, like, a Kuchera is there, whatever, Miryazona is there, there's Meduza is there, like, new newspaper, Nova Gazeta is there. There are a lot of people, Max Katz is there, there's a lot of people there. Moscow Times is there, The Insider is there. In there, I mean, in this signed the letter regarding the statement of whatever would just happen, right? So a lot of people who I kind of see as, like, basically people who are actually delivering correct information, so on and so forth, right? And are fighting against at least, like, misinformation campaign by Kremlin, right? These are all the people who are fighting this misinformation campaign. But dude, you have, like, Khodorkovsky is there, like basically most Plющev is there. Basically all the people who I watch and who I, like, get the news from, like, real news, not garbage that Russian state propaganda is spitting out, they're all signed this letter. And yet, I don't understand how could you sign that letter in full honesty. Because Dozhd has broken the law of the country. Oh, yeah, but by the way, there was this thing that they needed to do is to put Latvian captions on their streams or broadcasts, wherever. And they didn't do that. So you are, like, the country sheltered you, given you the opportunity to work from that place, and you are repeatedly broken the laws of that country. Like, how can I don't understand? Like, now I start to slowly understand why Ukrainians, why Baltic states, actually Polish people actually hate, and or at least, like, have some disdain for Russians. Because I now start seeing that Russians are imperialists. Russians are, even the fucking opposition, Russians apparently don't know how to actually live in a lawful society. Because it's not Russia. If you broke some law, who gives a fuck? Like, nobody enforces any laws, and if somebody enforces it, maybe you can pay off something, and if not, well then fucking whatever, jail, whatever the fuck. This is not the fucking situation. Nobody's jailing them. They've been given an opportunity. They fucked up. Latvia doesn't have a responsibility to host and allow, like, who the fuck knows, maybe some Kremlin fucking agents to stay in the territory of Latvia and broadcast their messages. They don't have this responsibility. And yet they've done it. And the editors of Dozhd, of TV Rain, they fucked up. So if you fuck up, own to it. This is the thing, like, this infantility that I see even sometimes, like, just in conversations with older Belarusian people, with my parents, with, like, some other people from other families, like with parents of my friends sometimes. I see this infantility that people cannot own up to their mistakes. They cannot say, yeah, I fucked up, I'm sorry. They start blaming other people. Like, at least the main the creator, right, Natalia Sindeyeva, at least she said that, we broke the law. But I don't understand how can all of these people, from editors from Echa, Rus News, again, like, all of them. I'm gonna link this article from Meduza because it's in English. Everybody can read it. But I don't understand. Like, you fucked up. Not all of you, but, like, Dozhd fucked up. So if you fucked up, like, own to it and say, like, thank you very much, Latvia, that you've given us this opportunity. We fucked up. We will try to do better next time. And now, just thank you all. And now we will try to find some other place for us to stay and broadcast from. And if you are an actual owner of that fucking shit, you should know how to, like, prevent all of that. You really need to be, like, not on your like C game, not on your B game. You need to be not even on, like on your A game. You need to be on your S game. You need to be like fucking supreme tier. Not just like this, oh yeah, well, whatever, regulators, oh my god, we need to do this, we need to do that, oh my god, no way, how the fuck? What is this shit? And I don't understand, like literally, like a shit ton of people, Latinina, whatever, Milov, like a lot of people are fucking just saying some garbage, absolutely atrocious shit that, like Milov, for example, right? I kind of like his position, kind of harsh positions on many topics, but
крупнейший... Давайте вот просто зададим себе вопрос, вот внимательно посмотрим на всю эту ситуацию. То есть Дождь вещает много месяцев.
Once again, like, who gives a fuck if he's the biggest channel, the biggest independent media or whatever, opposition media? Who gives a fuck? He did some shit. And yet people are saying, oh, yeah, like, if you basically agree with nullifying the license of Dozhd, of TV Rain, means that you are kind of helping Putin. Dude, what are you fucking talking about? Either you break the law and you get punished for it, and the law it's not the Russian standards, one law for me, another law for you. No, it's just one standard. You are a Russian fucking media that came to Latvia. Follow the fucking law. Or get the fuck out. Like, what the fuck is this shit?
Является крупнейшим независимым из-за границы после всего этого путинского прессинга. Дождь очень популярен. Он работает на российскую аудиторию в десятки миллионов.
TV Rain is very popular. It's working for like whatever millions and of tens of millions, as he's saying, which is not true really, because they have 2 million people subscribed on their YouTube channel. So it's millions, not tens of millions.
Человек. И проводит очень четкую, очень супер важную. Причем это делают русские для или немецкой волны, которые вещают, имеют огромную аудиторию.
Once again, like it's now I really start to understand now how and why Ukrainians and, like I'm saying, Baltic states, they really don't like Russians at all. Doesn't really matter. Like every Russian is a bad Russian, because even these people, opposition, they are saying shit right now. They should have said, yeah, it's actually like, yeah, it's really bad that it happened, but Dozhd fucked up, and that's the price for a fuck up. And that's by the way, that's a really good price for a fuck up, because you're not jailed. Nobody's sending you. Nobody's just deporting you back to Russia. They're just revoking TV license. By the way, Dozhd doesn't have TV license in Russia, right? And I think in one like quick video I've seen, I think like either editor of Dozhd or somebody said basically we can't really do anything in Russia anyway in terms of like TV broadcast, but we have like a YouTube channel. So then I don't understand really. So what's the matter then? If you can't really broadcast in Russia anyway, I'm not sure like if this Latvian license gives them ability to broadcast in Russia, which I doubt. So if they're not broadcasting in Russia anyway, broadcasting there is like a TV broadcasting license, right? Like if you're not doing this TV thing in Russia, who the fuck cares? Like you just go back to your YouTube thing and do your YouTube thing. If your main audience is anyway Russian people, and you don't have a TV license to broadcast in Russia, who cares if Latvia revoked your broadcast license? What, you're not gonna spread your message to however many Latvians or like Lithuanians, Estonian, Russian speaking, right? Like Estonians, Polish people. Who cares? You're blocked. Dozhd is also blocked in Ukraine since like 2017. I think because they also showed or like basically repeated the same statements that Crimea and annexed Crimea is actually part of Russia. So it's like it's not just these free strikes that they got in Latvia right now. It's the things that they've said before as well. You have to have a fucking moral compass, for crying out loud. You can't just like tiptoeing your fucking your way, you know, out of like real discussions. Some things in the world are black and white. It is Russia who fucking started everything. It was Russia who started one Chechen war, second Chechen war, Georgian war, like first Ukrainian war with annexation of Crimea and all the shit, and supporting and creating basically separate regions in Donbass and Lugansk, Donetsk, whatever, 2014-15. It is now Russia who's doing this fucking shit. Before that, it was USSR and fucking oppressive machinery that basically tried to eradicate like fucking independence and sovereignty of states. Like Belarus, for example. We've had our own language. Now, in modern Belarus, nobody speaks Belarusian language. Nobody. Besides maybe, like, I don't know, like a few thousand people who, I don't know, seen like, as freaks right now. It's Russia all the time. Russia and like this imperialistic shit. Now I start to understand. Now I start to see it and understand this. Why people actually fucking hate Russia and Russians, no matter fucking who they are. So yeah, don't know. Very interesting that, I mean,
За что выперли Дождь
I don't know who this guy is. I just noticed this video.
из эфира, признали аннексию Крыма и показали это у себя в эфире. Хотя есть 100 способов, благодаря богатому русскому языку, избежать соответствующих формулировок и не акцентировать на этом внимание. А они это сделали.
I don't know where this like is taken from, but this is like absolutely everything.
Это мародеры, пользуясь от дождя.
Yeah, Russian army is an army of oppressors, of murderers, of absolute like inhumane fuckers, and there are a lot of them there. There are a lot of absolute fucking atrocious pieces of shit. So you can't say it's our army. It's like your army, whoever fucking said it on Dozhd. Some whatever presenter, who the fuck cares? You can't say that, because then you're saying that, yeah, it's my army, like I stand by it. No, it's not. Like if you feel like that, okay, well then get the fuck out of good countries like Latvia, whatever, Lithuania, it doesn't matter. Get the fuck back to Russia if it's your country, if it's your army. Go support them. I've watched that video that when he said like basically that we're helping our like poor mobilized guys who are like freezing in Ukraine right now. Like, I'm like watching it and I'm like, what in the fuck are you saying? And why in the fuck are you saying that? Because it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like I can understand an empathy towards a human being. Like, yeah, you can imagine how fucking awful it is. But at the same time, you must fucking understand that there should not be any sympathy for those people. Because they are fucking invading army. They're killing, murdering fucking en masse people of Ukraine who did absolutely fucking nothing to deserve that. They were just born in Ukraine. In times when fucking Putin has created this fucking absolutely atrocious war machine in Russia and set a target of Ukraine. Put a target on Ukraine. So it's so despicable to even say that. It is so despicable to even say that. And apparently, yeah, Dozhd will try to like get a new license in another country. I still don't understand really. Like, if they are blocked in Russia, I've never like really, like I'm saying, I don't watch TV Rain, so I don't understand how those licenses specifically work. Does it mean that like if they get license from like Latvia or some other country or whatever, it means that with that license they can broadcast to the Russian TV? If not, then who the fuck cares about this TV license? Who fucking watches TV anyway? Like, everything is on the internet right now. Like, do your fucking YouTube channel. work on that. Like, who cares? I don't understand this. Why is such an important thing to be on TV? So, whatever. Yeah, and the fucking Latina. I've heard that she is like an imperialistic. I mean, she's kind of trying to be opposition, but yeah, I've seen like kind of, I don't know, things that she's saying, kind of imperialistic garbage. But yeah, now it's a good sort of way to just understand that Russian opposition en masse is like, yeah, they're opposing Putin, they're opposing Kremlin, but it doesn't automatically make them good humans, good like cosmopolitans, for example. Which is, I feel like every human should be cosmopolitan, should be thinking that they're living on this globe, on the planet Earth first. They're humans first. They belong to Earth first. And so they shouldn't be like this nationalistic kind of shit, percolating basically conversations and things like that. Should be some basis of like civility and things like that, and we need to go from there instead of, oh, you live here, you live there, whatever. Let's fight. But apparently a shit ton of Russians actually hold these views that fucking the whole world owes them something. It doesn't. So yeah, it's not the note that I wanted to start with, but this news was just developing right now. And so yeah, I apparently hold like very different position from a lot of this, or most of this, like liberals, whatever. Yeah. And I just wanted to basically put it out. And apparently Lithuania will also cancel the either cancel the license or just will stop the broadcast. I'm not sure really. Didn't read the news yet. But yeah, what's interesting is that basically this guy Ivar Sabolins, I guess, Abolish, something like that. He's basically the politician or like authority who is responsible for closing TV Rain in 2014. That's the other side of the story, right? One side of the story is that Dozhd fucked up. Her, like the head of Dozhd, kinda admitted it, but kinda reluctantly, basically. And all the opposition, basically, or more most of the opposition, supports Dozhd, not actually saying that you should do better. You should do better. No, they're not saying this. They're like, oh, fucking Latvia, oh, yeah. But there's the other side of the story, is that this guy who actually basically canceled this license for TV Rain in Latvia in 2014 was saying that Latvia should be sending more money to Yanukovych and pray to God that basically so Ukraine doesn't get close to European Union. Otherwise, what are you gonna do with like millions of Russians there? So he held quite fucking chauvinistic and just in general really shitty views. He was when Putin annexed Crimea, he was saying 2014. He was saying that the spectacular speech from Putin, brilliant speech, and that like Western, basically useless Western politicians could just fuck off. Unfortunately, something like that. So once again, like the irony that this person revoking the license of anti-Putin, anti-war, basically, TV channel that did fuck up and did break the rules. But the fact that this person in 2014 was holding these kind of views is fucking just insane. It's amazing. It's insane. It's insane. I can tell you what I was doing in 2014/15. I actually went. Oh, and by the way, the either editors of TV Rain or somebody else, I forgot already who was it, or like some stuff, I don't remember who was it, actually traveled to Crimea, to occupied Crimea. I think maybe after the bridge was created, basically they visited occupied Crimea, not through Ukraine, but through Russia somehow. So there's that. So they also basically broke the international law, or just the law of Ukraine, by visiting that occupied territory. So there's that. But in 2014/15, I was working with Ukrainian team. We were doing, not gonna say what, but like it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter, I visited Ukraine at that point, was living for a few months in Ukraine, and when I was talking to people of Ukraine, I at the time was like 25 or something like that. I already understood that annexation of Crimea is fucking bad. And I never once said that the speech is great, everything is amazing. I was saying that this is fucking tragedy what just happened. This is insane, and obviously Crimea is Ukrainian territory. I was saying that back in 2015 once again, when I was like 25 or so. And that cunt, I'm assuming, was a bit older and should have fucking known better. And he was living in a better place than I was, and yet apparently that does not doesn't mean that you have brains. That's what I'm saying. All right. There was something else that he said. What did he say? There was one more thing. One more little. Oh, it was. Yeah. In 2013, he was saying that look, today, whoever Putin is, he is keeping Russia together, basically, protecting it from chaos. This is like just so insane to actually say things like that. Like, once again, at that time, I already understood that dictators is not good. Dictatorships is not good. Authoritarians is not good. And yet this dude just didn't get it. Didn't get it. So there's another side of this story. And apparently this dude, Ivars, I'm not sure really, Abolinch, said that he regrets about his old statements, and he doesn't hold the same views, and that when he wrote this at that time, he was operating on the available information that he's got. It's like, okay, so when you need some kind of additional information to understand that dictatorships are bad, authoritarianism is bad, that annexing territory of another sovereign country is bad. You need some other context for this. Really. How old are you? Like, are you 5 that you need additional context to understand that these are bad things? Have you ever read history? Yeah, it's just so on one thing, I do not sympathize with TV Rain whatsoever. Because like I'm saying, they should have known better. They should have done way better. They should have went above and beyond to never get any mistakes, never get any garbage that apparently is in their hands out into the world. And yet they have done it. And so they deserve to be punished. They deserve the license to be revoked. The law is the law. If you are actually living in a fucking lawful country, dude, like I'm saying, like, you've escaped a lawless country. So if you come to a lawful country, follow the fucking laws. The laws, and following those laws and or being punished for not following it is what keeps the fucking societies running. Keeps people civil. If you know that there is a law and nobody's above the law, everybody should follow it, that's the difference between shithole like Belarus or Russia and better countries like whatever, Germany and UK or something like that. But it's just, on the other hand, it's just brilliant that person who actually held absolutely fucking atrocious views is the one who's right now punishing TV Rain and saying like, oh, no, I didn't have the information at the time. Cool story, bro. Cool story.